Alright.
Resupply and recover, but be quick.
Do I throw out food here for crystals? Oh, it's not really a mod. I thought you caught on. Just you scroll up in chat like half an inch there, chill. You'll see.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Prolols, welcome to the channel. You have to farm the virtues is what you have to do. I guess I'm throwing out food. Alright, note to self. Less food next time. Or bring a shittier comp. I guess shittier comp would work too. Alright, heal up. Physical needs are satisfied. All of them? I am undecided about revenge as an ability right now. Revenge as an ability seems to be potentially one of the ways I can lose. I don't really need the accuracy and crit. Like, it's going just fine without it.
Reality regained.
The number of bosses killed, I believe it is. Considering it went up by 1 after killing that last boss. That is my suspicion. Bad stuff is offset by withstand. See, that's not quite, the logic isn't quite good on that. I mean, no one's denying that withstand gives you benefits, but I get the benefits of withstand without having to use revenge. So they're separate, right? So I can, for example, say, well, if I just have 33% protection and all of those buffs, well, no downside to that. I'm making a trade-off to throw in revenge, and I'm not sure it's needed. Like, tell me a fight where 25% more damage on the leper was relevant to the outcome of the fight. I'm not sure we can get there. And perhaps 25% more damage, or 35% more damage rather. And perhaps 25% more incoming damage isn't relevant either. In other words, the downside might not be much of a downside. But I'm less sure about that. How do I die? I die from a couple unlucky crit strings. And that's how we die. You saw what happened with the Vestal, where they attacked the Vestal twice in a row and put a dot on them. Eventually I will run out of things like bandages. I do miss the crit percentage. We're like around 50% right now, and I much prefer to be in the like 80% range, or it isn't really. I mean, I don't know how we got it so high in the beta, or the Color of Charity. We were over 70. We were 70 to 80% crit rate. Maybe I had a crit perk, because this is pretty high crit. 6 on this is pretty high as items go, and 10 on that is super high. Did they nerf Chop crit percentage? I don't think they did. We're running a crit buff. Maybe we had crit buff for Men at Arms. I don't really remember. Okay. I mean, maybe I was also running double camping buffs when that happened, like a camping buff from the leper that gives crit and running revenge. That'd be probably another 20% out of that. Have you died last time? I don't understand your question. Have I died last time? You have to rephrase that one for me, I'm afraid. I was running Berserk Mask, but Berserk Mask has 10 crit, just like Ancestor's Pen. So it wasn't more than this combination. Oh, you mean have I died since last time? No. No. This is a continuation of yesterday's stream. We're at 420 kills exactly right now.
A victory. Perhaps the turning point.
Feels like this might be the end of the round. So getting that extra kill might be relevant. It's tough to tell. How does this work? Do I keep fighting the same guys? Is it different from the normal game? Yes. To all of those things.
Be gone, fiend.
I don't want to move forward or backwards. Sedated. Teleported. Okay.
Reality regained.
I still want to know what that is. Maybe that's the symbol for Darkest Dungeon boss. Okay. Free stress, even in the splendorific,
And times unknown.
splendorificus, most splendorificus, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's a technical term. Jester loves a little tug here and there. Could be a kill on the Jester right now. That's what they could be going for. Bleed followed by a crit. Crit bleed followed by crit. Might kill the Jester. This comp does not have a lot of emergency healing, because there's only a very few of them who can direct heal in the positions they're normally in. And you notice how weak it is the first couple rounds as we buff up? I mean, it's got its weaknesses. It seems solid, but it has its weaknesses. You always get a room before the boss. Think no revenge on the boss? I don't know. I'm thinking of like Swine Skivers and stuff like that. Do we really want increased anything? What? Was that the end of the round or the beginning? Bit awkward here since I can't reach this guy right now. Maybe that shuffle will do something. There we go. When you get Splendor as Torchlight, abusing it to get virtues seems worth it from my point of view. Yeah, I would consider that the best place to do it if you're gonna do it. Leper is gonna revenge this round, mostly because I don't have anything else to do. But would it have been better just to have whatever his fucking heal is called these days? Solemnity? Probably. Resist like the asshole he is. Probably time for a group heal.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Alright. So the ones I wonder about are the stun on the Vestal and the revenge on the leper. I feel like maybe should be traded out, both of those.
Compassion is a rarity in the
Can it be possible to get the high level of fight run with this combination of heroes? I mean, you're asking the question the run is designed to answer. The whole point of leveling so many different classes so I can test all of them, or test lots of different combinations. The answer is probably, but we don't know for sure yet. Lieutenant Smash.
monster's size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination.
Yeah, I suspect this is wrong to run Revenge. I was really excited about Revenge. Like, it seems like having a damage buff is probably really good, but
Waking nightmare.
let's see how it feels not to have the stun. Now it's every room splendorous. Now that I have the virtues game, I'm not unaware of what's going on here. I missed the stun already.
A lost echo, trapped forever in the sparkling void.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Critically stricken. Oh guys, I can hype it now. New D&D episodes out today. Yeah, look at that. Straight onto the fucking healer. Triple attacks, all of which have a chance to blight. That is how you die. That's Death's Door.
Blurred vision.
We resisted the blight, it looks like, but we just picked up a Death's Door debuff that we didn't have before. We're pretty high speed. We're likely to go ahead of them. Still. We now have a debuff we didn't have before. No secondary healers, so we can't prevent that either. Minus accuracy, minus damage, minus speed, plus stress. Okay.
Grievous injury, palpable fear.
Double dodge is good here. That was almost it, guys. That was almost the end of the run. I'm sure you guys are aware how close that was. Makes you a little concerned how much luck might be involved in this as well. Because that wasn't skill-based that survived. I mean, in a sense, parts of it were, right? I mean, it's not like we're running Blight Resist. Although the Virtue does give us plus Blight Resist. And this is why I think Clutter is such a good skill. And why I also like Thick-Blooded. Because that's what ends runs, right? It's the same in the actual harder modes of the game. The things that kill you are Focus Fire, Crits, and Dots. All at once. Should have been a speed buff. Okay. There's not a lot of luck in DD. There really isn't. But there is some. Alright, that is maybe the wrong way to say it. The luck is pretty manageable in this game. I mean, on some level, I guess if you're being really... it would be nice to be able to remove mortality. So right now, if we need to remove diseases and remove mortality, that necessitates either an occultist or a crusader on the one hand, that's mortality, or a grave robber or a plague doctor on the other hand. Not sure how I feel about that. Crusader's the same as the Jester. Not even close. Not even remotely close. Crusader takes up a totally different spot. Crusader is way less good at stress healing. This guy's doing 14 right now with the Bright Tambourine. 14 stress heal, single target. Crusader does between 5 and 7. I think it's might be as high as 7, but it might not be. He has no good item that gives plus stress healing either. So whereas the Jester has a very strong item, this one here that gives both stress resist and output on stress skills, the Crusader has nothing like that. The Crusader, when he crits, doesn't get increased stress healing, unlike the Jester. The Jester's running a group buff repeatedly in this stage that we're using quite aggressively. It's both accuracy and speed, which means that we act before all the enemies every single round, and that has a huge small stacking effect that builds up into a very large long-term advantage. Like the fact that the Crusader stress heals, oh, and then the speed, right? The Jester is way faster than the Crusader, which is going to let him get all the irrelevant stuff up sooner. It's just not even a comparison. Swapping Occultist or Vestal is better for the Vestal now. You want to give up group healing? Are you insane? I don't want to give up fucking group healing. But what would that look like? Position 2 Occultist would do mortality debuff and a stunner with Vestal Healer and Plague Doctor back rank. covers all of the bases right now. I don't know what we do. We'd actually need a damage dealer. Could still be leper. So it'd be trading out. Oh no, we don't have stress healer. So Crusader, Occultist, Plague Doctor, Vestal. The thing that covers all those bases. Sounds like a super boring comp. Does give us triple redundancy and healing. Still gives us disease cures. Still gives us AoE heals. Still gives us a consistent stunner. Maybe that's worth trying. The mortality debuff would be great. Using the Crusader as a stress healer sounds extremely painful though. No! Fuck. Missed the kill.
Lost in time and
Can the comp do anything versus the hag? Sure. Cultist does damage. So does the Plague Doctor. Versus the hag. It's this comp that struggles versus the hag. But the big issue is going to be fucking getting virtues on that comp. Crusader even has a protection buff, although his protection buff is way worse than the lepers. Because it's about the same amount of protection, but it doesn't give resists. And Blight, Bleed, Debuff, Move resists are fucking amazing. What is my favorite in-game enemy? Depends which way I look at it. I think the most interesting one is probably the Skyver. Things fucking strikes fear into the heart of men. From a perspective of which enemy do I like facing the most? Probably one of the Skeleton Militia enemy. Can only hit rank 1, 2. Super weak. Doesn't do shit for damage. Doesn't have high crits. Has no special abilities. Just lets me, or maybe, you know, by that logic, maybe the crab, because we can have long conversations deep into the night with no deaths taken and lots of stress being relieved. It's tough to say. Crabs are just annoying to kill if you ever have to do that in a timely manner. Didn't I close my game when sleeping? I sure did, but this saves your progress and you can log back in. Mods, can we get a... What's the command for the save file? Skeever is more interesting than Hateful Virago. I don't think the Hateful Virago is very scary at all. Like, the Cove one, the squiffy guy, he's like... He causes a lot of stress, but he's not scary. He's not going to wipe your party. He's just going to give you a fuck ton of stress. He might lose you the dungeon because your stress overloads, but he doesn't wipe your party. Same with the Ruins one. He's not particularly worrisome either. Like, he's a little tiny bit annoying, but really not that bad. And what's the place I'm missing? Oh, and the Hateful Virago. Same with the Hateful Virago. You just kill it. Like, if you kill it, he never summons mushrooms. If you kill it, he can't prevent you from healing. You want to kill him anyways. He's fairly high damage. So it's not a big deal. The big deal one is the fucking Skyver, who's just like, rip, there goes your party. He gets like 1 or 2 like AoE crits on you. Like, fuck your party, you're dead. Enjoy. What do I recommend to kill the Shrieker? I don't. You don't have to kill the Shrieker. You just have to withstand the Shrieker and you get your trinkets back. So don't build a comp designed to kill it. Bring a comp designed to survive it. Why are you still alive? Should have been a stun, not the dot. So far, illumination has been entirely useless. We haven't used it once. Could you run through the thinking behind my current comp? Sure. Is it too complex? Frontline AoE is actually decent in this dungeon. Killing the front ranks is nearly as good as killing the back ranks in this dungeon. So, if enough accuracy buffs are applied, the leper's actually doing work. I want AoE healing, so I have the best, most consistent healer in the game. I want stress healing, so I can farm virtues and otherwise keep stress at 0, so I never run out of stress. That's the best stress healer in the game. And I want, and I also want the buff, so back rank position. The Hound could probably do as well here, but it's a little bit harder to do direct stress healing, like single target stress healing. And then I want disease cures, so I have this guy, and he she synergizes with buffing the leper. It's a pretty simple comp. But it's one of the ones that is just consistently done well in this format, so we'll see. What happened to the second leper? I decided it wasn't as good as the Plague Doctor, because we ended up losing runs because we couldn't remove diseases, and diseases eventually killed us. So our damage is a little bit slower, but that doesn't actually seem to be that much of an issue. Incoming illumination for the first time. Totally unnecessary. I can just AoE it next turn. In fact, it probably changes nothing thinking about it, since I'm gonna attack first with that, so probably I shouldn't illuminate. Fine. How do I kill a hag with this comp? Don't know yet. That will be an interesting challenge. We'll see. That might be the Achilles heel of this comp. We don't know. Stun would have been better than illumination there. Okay, ceaseless labor, sure. Is it time to go? Bye-bye. I know plus damage buff on the leper. So I think it's one of the only ways I can lose is to have a plus damage buff on the leper. In other words, the leper's damage is high enough. Took me, I think, 16 tries on the Plague Doctor, I think.
Time has no dominion here.
I don't know about mark. I guess I want to mark here. She'll mark us anyways. We have 2 really. This is kind of dangerous too. This guy does a lot of Death's Door debuffs. We still have 3 rounds of speed. I missed my second stunner here. There's 50% chance to stun there. What difficulty is this on? Darkness, I think is what it's called. Very dangerous comp for us. Like, that's really fucking bad.
The will to fight falters.
And the stun here would be amazing. We don't have it. Okay. Any ideas on endless run comp with the bounty hunter? Bounty Hunter seems really fragile for what he does. Okay, it was good that wasn't a crit. That could have been a really nasty crit. Would have been nice if that were a crit. I really don't like the no second healer here. I mean, that's the other thing the position to occultist could do, is it's a backup healer. This is a good example where you can see that I'm not really ahead of the damage here. I'm slowly losing health. Again, I'd love a stun here. Alright, I think I'm turning Illumination back off. Blood Moon plus no light is hard. Yeah, it's fairly hard. Consistently beating it though, so it's not too hard. Drop the focus ring for the healing on the Vestal. Nope, that's terrible, terrible idea. Very specifically didn't bring that item. I don't want a damage reduction on the Vestal, and I don't want a stun chance reduction on the Vestal. Both of those things are things I actively want to do on the Vestal, and I actually really care about the accuracy, because she does a lot of last hitting things with her her attack. I mean, maybe the accuracy gets covered by the Jester buff, maybe, but I definitely don't want to give up. I definitely don't want negatives to damage or stun percentage. I don't think. I mean, we're rolling on 50% with her on her stun. There's an argument to maybe drop this and pick up a stunning item on her, but even that, maybe another resist item, maybe the healing item that just the Surgeon's Charm, the 15% healing. There is an argument for dropping the focus ring, but it's not to pick up the scroll. The scroll is definitely not helpful. So. Why not the pistol on the Vestal? Why not the pistol? It's accuracy, and what's the secondary stat? It's 15 accuracy, and what's the secondary stat in the pistol? There's stress, accuracy, and is it crit again? I don't know. I feel like stacking stress resist is better than not stacking stress resist and adding stress for essentially the same item. Oh, speed. I guess I don't really care that much about the speed. I think I ended up not running any speed items because the buff off the Jester is keeping us going so fast that the speed just didn't seem very relevant to me. I mean, we're getting 30 speed on. I mean, he's the extreme, right? Because he's got the double speed buff from the from her. I think in another comp, speed might be relevant, but at the moment we go first with all of our characters every single round, and that's both good and bad. I like the Vestal going last out of my 4 guys, because that means any damage we've had, she gets to make sure it gets healed. I don't really like all of the opponents going in a row, because we can run into things like with the worms, where the opponents going 4 times in a row give them a chance to focus fire 1 guy down. No more Slay the Spire. I haven't been feeling Slay the Spire recently, so probably not. I enjoyed the game. I think it was amazing. I didn't really enjoy playing more than 300 hours in it. 300 hours seemed to be about where I was happy with in Slay the Spire. I haven't got around to trying the new character. Maybe I could, but I haven't been so excited about that either way. I like how much content they're putting out, but and I like how up to date how good their devs are in terms of updates and the rest of it, but the comp I'm most excited for after this comp is the dodge comp. I don't know what the dodge comp looks like. There's probably a couple iterations of it till we find out what we're really covering, but... Maybe I should drop that and take healing received. The bolster comp? Yeah. Would be men at arms for sure. I'd have stunned if I had it there as well. It's gonna be hard to get virtue. It's gonna be hard to virtue farm on a dodge comp. I'm not even sure I should. So, I mean, the Vestal right now is running 45%, 45% healing. And it's still not enough, really. Ooh. No antiquarian? We're not bringing antiquarian. They're so bad right now. I don't think they're gonna help at all in this run. It's not really stunnable. I really don't want to be in position 2. I don't want to be tree branched on that character. I don't want to be tree branched on anybody, but I really don't want to be tree branched on the Jester. Okay, fetid sensor, sure. That's the dot that sets you up to die to tree branch. We're low enough on Plague Doctor. A critical hit here will bring her to 0 off the tree branch. I want this guy to die this round. So I think we might be teleported out. Can we do it off 3 attacks right now? Probably not. No resist there's the worst case.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Alright, let's assume we get another round. Another chance for a crit on the giant. I'm beginning to fear... Most feared right now in this mode, giants, the swine pukers, and ghouls. I don't know if that matters. I mean, those are creatures. 2 of those 3 creatures are creatures that are really good to use marks on.
Battle behind, battle ahead. But for a moment, peace.
gonna be Hag sooner or later. It's all I can think about right now is what if it's Hag? Shambler again. Okay.
Trapped in a twisted refraction.
+3 speed to enemies is really annoying here. I actually would like her to his damage buff. I don't have it. Okay. Why is Hag bad? Because this group can't hit that rank at all. I think where it doesn't, I don't think it's gonna matter their speed. I think we're gonna be too fast for them. Depends if the leper ever doesn't kill one of them and somebody else has to do something. This is DLC, basically just alternate late game content, yes. DD save, that's what I want. Okay. Cool. That was the command I was looking for earlier, thanks to Dave. So, yeah, guys, if you're not clear on this, this save with all the crazy guys, crazy items, crazy quirks, crazy progress in the game is available for all of you who want it. You can download the save and install it and play like we're playing. So, cool. You can see how far you can get in your own endless runs. That's something that interests you. What's the virtue on the Plague Doctor? Focused. So Flagellant's still good. Flagellant got very heavily nerfed. Whether or not they're any good in this mode, I don't know yet. See, that's gonna be telling here. Will this guy be faster than our other guys? Especially speed 15. We're only speed 17. There's a chance that I'll let this guy go. He's in position 1. That means the only person who kills him is healer. Yeah, 40 dodge. I think I have to take the time to dot him. I don't really want to. It slows down the kill of the boss, but I really don't want him going next. Flag would only be good if the abilities can reset during the pauses. They do reset during the pauses. In between each of the breaks resets abilities, yeah. I forgot about he has a limited number of abilities per fight too now, doesn't he? Yeah, it's kind of bad too. So far, the Jester hasn't hit a single bleed yet. People are telling me when I was leveling the characters, they're like, you don't have to bring a bleed item on the Jester. Yes, you fucking do. Like, that's the big issue with the Flagellant, too, is that one of your items has to be plus bleed, because otherwise you do this shit, where I've hit him 4 times with the Jester, 3 times with the Jester's one of those, and he's hit none of them. And it's not even, I mean, this is a decent bleed resist at 80, but it's not, like, insanely high. I'm gonna be greedy here and make sure and try to get the kill on the Vestal there. She misses, but she can. It's only a 90. Oh, it's a 95. She can't miss. Never mind. Okay. I guess it's because so many accuracy buffs off the Jester. Oh, and I didn't look at his health. Could have killed him there. Not that it matters. We're at negative health and negative stress on everybody.
It could be dismissed as a fever dream, if not for the corpses. Corrupted curiosity.